What's going on YouTube? Welcome to episode 127 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And of course, be sure to join my Discord channel. I'll have a link in the description below. Right now I'm doing a poll on my next ship build, and you can participate in that by joining the Discord and clicking on next build poll. I've accumulated a list of my top requests from YouTube, so be sure to check that out. But if you see that there's not a ship on there that you want to vote for, you can always click on build suggestions and add your suggestion on there so people can upvote it. Actually, going forward, this is going to be the only way I'm going to be taking suggestions on the Discord channel under build suggestions. The reason I'm doing this is so people can actually see all the ships that have already, or builds in general, that have been suggested, and people can actually go on there and upvote them. So be sure to check that out. But anyway, today we've got about a 24-minute episode. I've been talking about reworking the ceiling on our corridors, and today we're going to do that. We're going to spend some time in the center section of our ship, the main hub that's connected to the aquarium and mall, and we're really going to be focused on today updating our ceiling. This portion right here is a great example of what we're going to be doing pretty much all the way around, doing the light gray concrete in the middle and then the stairs on each side of it, just to give the ceiling a little bit more oomph. And I think that this is going to look a lot better than what we have currently, with a combination of the light gray blocks, the white concrete, and the sea lanterns. Now, some people are probably going to ask, well, that's great and all, but what are you going to do for the lighting? Now, this is something I think that we'll do later on, but basically what you're going to want to do is when you're going through your roof, you're going to be deleting each sides, and then filling in, going straight across the light gray. Now, you notice that there's a lip here where a block used to be, right next to the block that we deleted, this wall here. That's where you're going to be putting the sea lanterns. You should be able to get away with that. It should still light up just fine, and it'll look great. No, I was looking at pictures of the corridors on the Enterprise D, and I was actually, what got me thinking about it was I was just watching TNG, and then I just noticed that, you know, the ceiling has a little bit more detail than what I have going on, and this is something that I talk about all the time, trying to bring over those characteristics from each ship, and really making them unique to what that ship is. And also, at the same time, trying not to repeat myself, and doing things differently each time. Otherwise, what's the point of doing these tutorials? So I really try to push myself with coming up with different designs for everything that we do when we build these ships out. Sometimes that can take a little bit of time. Sometimes there's a trial and error period where it might fail a little bit before we fall on something that we want to fall onto. But what you see me doing here, everything that we've done so far in the tutorial, this is how you fall onto these things. Sometimes you have to fail, in a sense, before you can land where you want to land, because you have that experience at that point to see, okay, I've tried this. I'm not really sure how this, you know, if this is working, but you know that you want to do something differently. I know that we also need to work on the lighting in that turbo lift that goes up to the bridge. Don't worry, we'll clean that up. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys, but we are going to get some sea lanterns in there to brighten that area up a little bit. Now, the only problem that you're going to have with this, because we're going to be, what we're doing with our ceilings, we're going to be doing this for all of our straightaway corridors. Not going to be doing this for the circular ones, because the pattern will get messed up as we curve and go into a circle. You're not going to have a problem with the main deck, but when you go upward, you're going to have some issues, because you're going to, well, actually, I believe the bottom deck. The top deck, I think, will be fine. But when we go down to the belly of the ship, or the belly of the saucer, I should say, on the entertainment deck, and we change the roof, it's actually going to delete these blocks that are on the floor. We are going to touch back on that, I think, when we go down there. That won't be in today's episode, but I'm just going to give you guys the heads up. So if you want to get started and you want to make this change, what you're going to have to basically do on the primary deck, which is the crew deck, on the floor, you're just going to have to cover it up with carpeting. It's not something I initially wanted to do because I really like having that clean concrete look that I get with those blocks for the flooring, but I just ultimately decided that having this detail in the roof was worth the work. And that's just something that you're going to have to decide. If what we're doing here, if this is worth the work to you, if it's worth making these changes, is it going to change the look of your build up to a point that you'll be happy with it? These are just things that I think about all the time when I'm working on my ships. I try to think about what's missing, and what I can do to try to help bring it to the next level. Now, all these hubs that we're adding here, or where we're at right now, you can see I'm building the stairs going against the wall rather than going long ways. I'm doing it this way so that they connect and it has like a nice connection piece. We're going to do that on both sides. Even though you're not going to see it on this side right now, but we were going to have to build a hub on that side that we just hit as well. But we'll do that. But I like that look that had right there with the stairs going against the wall like that. Connects really well and it looks nice and clean. Now this thing's coming along pretty good so far. I hate that it's been a slow crawl a little bit to get this far on the Enterprise D, but I mean, I think that a lot of this stuff is important to show. But again, at the same time, if you're not necessarily wanting to make these changes to your corridors, you don't have to. That's the great thing about these builds, that they're completely customizable and there's just a million and one ways to do it. This is really just a bunch of examples on things that you could possibly do. And we have a great example here comparing this section of the ceiling down all the way down there. You just have to decide which one you like more. Me personally, I decided this looked a little bit better, had a little bit more detail than what we had going on down there. I just decided to make the change. But these are things you're ultimately going to have to decide for yourself. I can show you the things to do, but you're really in control of your own build. I'll try to give as much of advice as I possibly can and talk about all my decision making. Hopefully this will help you guys out in making similar decisions on your own builds. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I say this all the time, that the Enterprise D, it's not a real ship. I don't care what anybody says. You can customize it, and it's a most fair game because there's never been a one-for-one complete interior design of the Enterprise D, so that leaves a lot of room for interpretation and how you interpret it. And I think as long as you try to stay true to that ship, it's fair game to make some of these changes. Now, with that being said, the changes that I'm making, I honestly feel that the ceiling is going to look a lot better and flow more with the corridors that we have in place. Because this again falls into one of my rules that sometimes you have to throw something down and see how it looks, to have a base to go off of, to see what else you need to add to make it look a little bit better, to help bring it over the top just a little bit more. And this is just one of those things. Like it's a slow process, just one step at a time. That's basically what we're doing with the Enterprise D. It's just, unfortunately, it's taking 50 times longer than what it would take on one of our normal builds because the Enterprise D, the scale of it is just massive. But I mean, that's okay. When this thing is done, I'll have a full tutorial on stuff that people can do to build their own Enterprise D, and you're not going to find that out there right now on Minecraft or building in general. So this is one of the main reasons I wanted to get this tutorial out there, so people can do this ship themselves. Because I mean, I know how I feel about it. TNG was one of my favorite shows with Star Trek, and I know that it's a beloved ship, so it doesn't surprise me that people would want to build it, We're looking pretty good so far. We're going to start filling in some of the ceiling now that we've got our updated ceiling and the corridors in place. We still have some work to do in our hub here. As you can see, I haven't done anything with the walls. for the hub. I wanted to make them shops, but I actually second guessed myself on that. I was like, well, maybe that might be too many shops. Maybe I should just have it going around the aquarium, which is kind of where I'm at right now on it. Um, but I haven't really added any more of design to them. Like the holes that you see there, that's still there on my ship, even where at like the main walkway. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that. Anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Definitely love hearing from everybody in the comments section. But I've kind of been all over the place with the stuff I've had going on. It's actually a pretty exciting time for me right now with the channel because I've never had so many things planned for my YouTube channel before, and I feel like I have a nice lineup of things to come to get people excited. And I'm really trying to get the community involved doing this community build. I think more than likely, though, unless something really changes, that Voyager is going to be the ship that we're going to end up doing. You know, because Voyager has been my top request for a while. I think that will happen, though. It's got more requests. It's got more upvotes than any of my other ships on the build poll right now. So we'll see what happens. But even after Voyager, I've been talking about that I want to do the Excelsior. That was the Excelsior class that was shown on season 2 of Picard. That ship just looks really cool. I hope they do some more of that stuff. Taking these legacy ships and kind of updating them a little bit, but staying true to what they were. I don't mind it as long as they do it with class and they update it in a way that it's still identifiable what it was. Even the new Stargazer, that might be a ship that I might build at some point. But we'll see, you know. I'm definitely planning on doing the Excelsior. I know that much. It's not going to be the next build I do after this. The build poll I have right now is going to determine that. But like I said, more than likely, unless something drastically changes with the poll, what people are voting for, it's going to be Voyager. But after that, I don't know. It's fair game. I think after Voyager, I'll probably end up doing one of my own personal builds, which could very well end up being the Excelsior, just something that I want to see. And then, of course, I've got the Enterprise A 1.1 from Star Trek Beyond, the refit that I'll be doing. I'm really looking forward to that. But that's not going to be coming up until we hit 1,000 subscribers. But I'm doing a lot of work on that right now. I've got, I have an episode up right now where I talk a lot about the thought process and some of the things that I changed on the Enterprise A 1.1 that I plan to do when we build the ship out. And also I'm taking a step further. I hired a 3D artist to build out a 3D rendering of the ship so I can use that as a reference when I build it out, and I'm probably going to end up getting the ship printed at some point so I can just make it into a full model, and I might do a couple of episodes on that too. I don't know. I think that would be a lot of fun. It's still building, and even though it's not necessarily a video game, models is something I have a passion for, but I haven't really had the opportunity to do it in a couple of years. Just due to being in an apartment, haven't really been in a scenario where I can build something and paint it, but I think I've figured out a way that I can do it where I won't have any issues building it in my apartment. I think that'll be fine. So that you might see stuff like that coming too, because I see a lot of people that they do these tutorials on model making, and I won't say that I'm an expert in any sense of the term, but I know how to do some things, and that's something that I want to share with people too, because I think that would be a lot of fun. And tying it into the Enterprise A 1.1 tutorial, I think will be a lot of fun too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, you know, a lot of cool stuff coming on the channel in the future. So if you're just tuning in today and you're not interested in building the Enterprise D right now, I hope that you stick with me through this tutorial, because there's still a thing or two to learn in building in general, but there'll be a lot of cool things that come in the future. But again, you know, if there's, out of all the things that I've mentioned, if there's something that you want to see me do that I haven't mentioned, don't get discouraged. Join the Discord channel, go under build suggestions, add your suggestion in there so the community can see and upvote it, because this is going to be something I'm going to be doing indefinitely. I want to get the community involved with some of these builds that I'm doing, and I think that'll be the best way to go about it, having a nice combination of stuff that I want to do, stuff the community wants to do, and maybe throwing in some things here and there in between. But yeah, no, I'm definitely very excited about it. My channel is doing pretty good so far. I'm not really in a rush to hit 1,000 subscribers, but once I hit 1,000 subscribers, there's a lot more things I'll be able to do with the channel, like being able to do live streams. To be honest with you, I'm not even thinking about the fact that I can make money on there because, to be honest with you, I have a full-time job. Everything's going fantastic with that. So it's not even about that. There's just so many more things that I'll have at my disposal once I do hit 1,000 subscribers that I can't do presently. And really, doing the live streams is the main one. Um, Oh, there is something else I do want to talk about, and I'm glad I just thought about it because I really need to talk about it because it's coming up this week. So you need to join the Discord channel. I have a watch party coming up this Saturday, April the 9th at 4 p.m. Star Trek The Motion Picture 4K Director's Cut is coming out on Paramount Plus, and I'm going to be doing a watch party on my Discord channel. We're going to watch this thing together in all of its 4K glory. If you haven't checked out the trailer for this new remaster, you really should, because it's going to enhance the motion picture in a way that's really never been done before. I know that they did the first enhancement in 2001, I want to say, but this is really taking it to a whole other level. It really is. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think I might be doing some more watch parties in the future. Um, I'm not exactly sure in which order I'm going to go in. I might actually start doing a poll to see what people want to watch, whether it's watching the shows or the movies. But I think that's something else I'm going to be doing with the channel or the Discord channel going forward, having those watch parties. So definitely be sure to join the Discord. I hope to see you all there. Again, that's going to be this Saturday, April the 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern. You don't even have to have Paramount Plus to watch it because I'll be streaming it for you guys on my personal Discord channel. So definitely check that out. Hope to see everybody there. A lot of cool people in the community so far on the Discord. It's slowly but surely growing. The Discord is still fairly new. So, expect to see a lot of more changes like that going forward. Because, I've had Discords in the past, like with my servers for Arc, but I've really never have done it or used Discord in a way like this as being like a backbone for my community, for my YouTube channel. It's an experiment, and so far it's been working out really well. If there's any suggestions though that you'd like to see me add on the Discord, things I can do better for the Discord channel or my YouTube in general, let me know in the comments section. I definitely love hearing from everybody. Getting that positive, constructive criticism is really one of the main ways that helps us grow. And while I don't respond to every single comment, because I don't get the time to, I actually get quite a few comments on my YouTube channel. I do try to read all of them, and I try to take that feedback to heart if it's something that I think needs to be improved upon. But yeah, we're rocking and rolling here. Even where we're at right now in the build, there's really not a lot of stuff that I really need to call out here. A lot of this is really self-explanatory. We're inside the aquarium right now, and we're filling in the ceiling here. Not all of it, just right up until the half slabs before it goes into the blue. Everything else other than that, we're filling that in because that's basically the floor for the primary shuttle bay. I can't believe I had a brain fart thinking about that. And I don't know, I just wanted to make it a little bit cleaner. I could have honestly left it the way it was. Wouldn't necessarily have been a big deal, but we have the room here to cover it up. So I'm going to do that. This is just one of the things you have to look for. It's funny because I was talking to somebody on my Discord channel the other day about it, and I actually laughed because they do the same thing that I do. They whiz around their ship 50 times after they add something. They look at it and like, okay, what can I do to make this look better? Do I need to change anything on this build to make it look a little bit better? And these are things that you should definitely be doing because it's going to help you to identify some things that maybe you want to change completely, or maybe you just want to enhance a little bit. Now, we're up in the shuttle bay. We're kind of all over the place in today's episode because today's episode was a couple of different building sessions I clipped together in one. And you can see I'm adding this orange strip here in the secondary shuttle bay. And my thought behind doing this was that this is essentially the door for the shuttle bay. Um, I had gotten this idea when I built out the cargo room, and because my cargo doors are orange, and I just kind of thought, I'm like, well, maybe like I need to have a little bit of that in the secondary and tertiary shuttle bays to give that impression. Even the primary shuttle bay could maybe use that. Again, this is just a little bit of detailing, attention to detail, paying attention to these little things. Some people may not necessarily pick up on why I added that block, or maybe even realize that it's there, but a lot of the details in this ship aren't necessarily for just your average person. It's really for the people that have that attention to detail and notice those small details. I think that's one of the reasons why I end up getting a lot of people that do watch my tutorials, because there is a lot of attention to detail in my ships, because I'm willing to try new things and keep basically spinning my wheels until I fall on something that I like. Which is going to lead us into what we're going to be doing right now, because the shuttle bays and the Enterprise D, they kind of have like these pinstriping, and it's not like super thin. They're kind of spaced out, but that's something that this room was missing. Now the primary shuttle bay has it, but the secondary and tertiary on my ship don't. So you're going to see me add them on here. I'm ultimately going to take them off. I think a lot of it had to do with just the overall starting placement of them. They were messed up a little bit by the doors to walk into the main corridor on the ship. And I think that kind of messed up the look for me just a little bit. And then also this corner right here, the right side, we can't delete any of those blocks. Now we can probably get around that by adding another layer to the wall. But if we do that, then we're going to have to kind of reshape the entranceway to the shuttle bay on that right side. So I'm trying to avoid doing that. I think I actually go all the way down on that, adding the stripe on the walls. And I'm just not set on it, and we're going to go back and delete it, which will end up being the last thing that we do on today's episode. I do this on the left and right side, and I just ultimately decide that what I end up doing is just not working for this room, so I'm just going to get rid of it. But those were the main two things that we were doing today. Adding in that strip to come in the entryway point of the shuttle bay, and really reworking the ceiling for our main corridors. I don't think anybody will have any problems with it, but if you do, drop a comment below. I'll try to help you out if I can. But I think that's going to wrap us up today. We got about 2 minutes left in today's episode, but just like I said, we're adding in these stripes and we're going to end up taking it out. So I think we'll just wrap this one up, have a little bit of a shorter episode for once. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe weekend. And of course, what did you make of Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section. Let me know in Discord. Definitely love hearing from everybody.